capacity as the Prime Minister, I would just like to lay down the structures of my debate. First, I will define the key terms that I will introduce the motion, define the key terms that are found in the motion, give my own laconic context that are irrefutable by any member in this House, summarize, and then in summary I shall conclude. Honorable Speaker, the motion reads, this House will reject BRICS. According to Oxford Dictionary, BRICS is an informal grouping of Brazil, Russia, China, and then South Africa. Honorable Speaker, rejects means to refuse or to disagree onto something. Honorable Speaker, the first point why I support this motion is that by joining or not rejecting BRICS, it will undermine the sovereignty of our nation. Honorable Speaker, it is clearly true that when we don't reject BRICS, it will undermine the sovereignty of our nation. And then I believe that us as a country, it will ensure that the Gambian people think freely and then they make their own decisions without any external interference. So I believe we should, as a country, should not accept BRICS, while we should reject this so-called arrangement or informal grouping of these countries. So I believe that point is strong and it cannot be irrefutable by any member in this House. Honorable Speaker, without wasting much time, I would just like to shift onto my onto my next point. We will know that if this grouping ensure that superiority over other nations, which us as a government, we see it as an attack on us and also an attack on our sovereignty as a country. You are accepted.
Are you sure that the definition you give of BRICS is from the Oxford Dictionary?
Yes, it's from the Oxford Dictionary. Thank you so much. Yes, so us as a nation, it will ensure that if we reject this so-called BRICS, it will ensure that we don't find ourselves in the superpower ideology, which is seriously true. And then this does not tally with us as a country, and then we will also reject it because we realize that it ensures that we cannot determine what we should do as a country. So it is clearly stated that it is clearly obvious that we should reject this, and then this is not for us, and then there is no way on earth, if at all we accept this, we can move as a nation. Honorable Speaker, shifting onto my third point, which will be that it promote influence and then an attack on us as Gambians. Honorable Speaker, BRICS is an informal grouping of Russia, India, and China. So if we as a country, we are trying to ensure that we shift into this group where we know that all these countries are superpower and then they are ahead of us. So we realize that they will promote bad influence on us. So we cannot determine what to do. So I believe that we should reject this so-called ideology, because in the Constitution of the Gambia, Section 5, subsection 6 is clearly stated that us as a nation, we should at least be able to determine ourselves and then do whatsoever we feel like in terms of policy and decision making. So there is no way on earth you can come into this House and tell us that we should join this so-called ideology, that is join this grouping called BRICS. Honorable Speaker, I would just like to summarize my debate. First, I have introduced the motion, which was this House will reject BRICS, which I also define the key terms that are found in the motion, which was BRICS is, according to Oxford Dictionary, is a grouping of Brazil, India, China, and South Africa. I also give an explanation of what rejects mean, which is a refusal or disagreement onto something. Give my 3 points. Number 1 point was it undermines the sovereignty of our country. Number 2 point, it promote bad influence. Number 3 point, it was that it does not it undermine it create a superpower ideology within the states, which us as a Gambians we cannot tally with. So, Honorable Speaker, I think I have done justice to my case.
In my capacity as the opposition leader, this is the structure of my debate. First of all, I will start by reviewing the bogus points put forward by the Honorable Prime Minister. I will introduce my points, take care if any, summarize, and in summary, Speaker of the House, I will conclude. Speaker of the House, going with my structure, the Prime Minister came here and said His first point was it undermines the sovereignty of our nation. Speaker of the House, how? You could not go forward by telling us that how will this undermine the sovereignty of our nation. Let's take example of the United Nations Union, for example, UNICEF and other organizations and other international groupings of other countries like the United Kingdom. They are still supporting our country. They are supporting our country, and you say, are they undermining the sovereignty of our country? No, they are not. And you are standing here as a honorable Prime Minister telling us that it will influence and it will undermine the sovereignty of our nation. Speaker of the House, you have failed, Prime Minister. How will it undermine this? People? Just the example of the UK. Very good example is the United Kingdom. They are grouping of countries, but still now they are supporting our country. Speaker of the House. So this Prime Minister has failed on that point. That point has no word, and it cannot stand in this House. His second point was the superiority on other nations. We all know Gambia, the superiority on other nations. We all know Gambia is a small country. We don't have that superpowers. If countries outside want to help us, like the BRICS, for instance, is the combination of different countries. They want to help our country, and you said it superpower on other countries. It promotes superpower on other countries. Gambia, we don't have that power to fight. We are not even going to fight. Those countries are not going to fight us. They are only here to help us. They are only going to help us, but they are not going to fight us. They are not going to do anything to us. And you are talking about superpowers and stuff like that. Let's take example of America, Russia. They are having superpowers, but still, are they attacking our country? They are not. And we are saying that superior on other countries. Yes, even they are superior. Because first, let's take example of America. America is bigger than us. America is bigger than us, populated than us, and is more powerful than us. But still now, they have not exercised their power on us. Speak of the House. They have not exercised their power on us. They have not made us. They have not made us fully. They have not exercised their power on us. They have not tortured us. They have not done anything wrong to us. And you are saying that this BRICS also will do the same to us. That means you have failed, and you have not. We know nothing in this House. He went forward by saying it promotes influence and attack on our nations, like bad influence. Speak of the House. How? He could not justify that in this House. It's an honorable House. If you say something, you have to justify it to us. You make us understand how will this cause attack in our country? How will it cause influence in our country? We have seen many international groupings that are in the world, because they have not caused any influence in our country. They have not caused any attack in our country, but rather they are giving us bad influence. They are not attacking us. They are even sponsoring us with weapons because to defend ourselves. They are even sponsoring us with weapons to defend ourselves. And they say the BRICS will attack us. How? Speak of the House. Where will they even attack us? What do we do to them so that they can attack us? You have not justified that to us in this honorable House, and you are not giving us how will they influence our people. Same yourself.
You say that they are providing us weapons. Are they providing us weapons for us to fight our fellow Africans, or they are providing weapons for us to defend ourselves?
Thank you. You have already answered the question. They are providing us weapons to defend ourselves, but they are not even fighting us, but they are giving us protection weapons to protect ourselves for other people to attack us. And you are here talking about that. You even answered yourself. So let me go to my first point, which is the strengthening of international relationships. Speak out fast. And this is true. This strengthens our international relationship. If we creating the BRICS has nothing to do with us. If the BRICS is alive still, speak out of us, we can strengthen our international relations through them. Speak out of us. We can engage with them. Because they are the combination of different countries. Speak out of us. So joining them, speak out of us, we strengthen our international relationship because they are international countries outside that join together. So Gambia also supporting them. Speak out of us. They will see that Gambia is a small country. Let's help them. They will support us, and that will boost our international relationship with them. Speak out of us. Support international relations. They will even they provide aid to our countries because we have seen international bodies, international groupings outside has been providing aid to our country, like at school materials and stuff like that. They can even aid traveling to those countries because of the House. Like for example, the BRICS, let's say of China. If China is part of China is part of the BRICS, and our country is in support of the BRICS because of the House. China can even open travel of Gambians to China very easy on Gambians because of the House. So it can even engage our traveling to China will be so much easy because China is part of the BRICS and we are supporting the BRICS. And our youth of our country want to travel outside, explore outside. So this BRICS also can strengthen international relationship. Example like the traveling opportunities and aid to our countries. Going to my second point is promotes development. Speak of the House, this is true. We have seen how international bodies are helping our country, how international organizations, grouping of international countries are helping our country. Speak of the House. A good example is the United Kingdom. They are helping our country. So they can help us in infrastructure development. They can help us to build infrastructure in our country, help us build many things like schools, hospitals. They can aid us with healthcare in the health sector. They can aid us with drugs. They can aid us with beds in our wards and stuff like that. They can even bring doctors or or qualified doctors to us so that they can train our young people. They can train our people on other things Speaker of the House. And this man is staying here, is agency that brings Speaker of the House. They can even provide learning materials to our students. And that's a good thing for us. That's a good thing as a poor country, as a developing country. We have to straighten out with international countries, Speaker of the House. We have to do anything to promote development in our country. That's why join supporting this bill, Speaker of the House, will definitely aid our country, because we as a poor country, we cannot do everything by ourselves. So we have to join these people, Speaker of the House, so that they can assist us, because they can assist our country, they can aid our country in doing such things, Speaker of the House. Going my third one, which is not our country's concern, Speaker of the House. If the BRICS are doing their work, what is the Gambia trying to do, just Speaker of the House? It is not our business whether they are format or distant. It is not our business in their group, Speaker of the House. The only business we have with them is we have relation with them. If they can aid us, they aid us in our country. But we don't have business to go and fight over them or stuff like that, because they are powerful out. So as a small country, we should take these opportunities. We should take these opportunities and put people and put these international relations in our country. We grab them here, Speaker of the House, so that they can aid our country, Speaker of the House. So going and disturbing ourselves, fighting them, it has no use, Speaker of the House. So going in summary, Speaker of the House, I have reviewed the bogus points put forward by the Prime Minister, which were undermine the sovereignty of our nation, superiority on other nations. I have, and he said, promotes influence and attack on nations. I have given my 3 unbreakable points, which were strengthen international relationships, 2, promotes development, and 3, not our country's concern. Speaker of the House, and I have done justice to my case. Thank you.
In my capacity as the Deputy Prime Minister, I would just like to lay down the architectural structures of my debate. First, I will refute on some of the misrepresented facts that were brought forward in this House by the opposition leader, strengthening the points of my Prime Minister, give my own laconic context, summarize, and then in summary, Honorable Speaker, I shall conclude. Honorable Speaker of the House, the incompetent opposition leader came into this House and was telling us that by rejecting the BRICS, it will ensure that it will promote international relationship. How on earth can we justify that? International relationship in the sense that they will come here and then try to exploit your mind, exploit the resources that you have as a nation, and then go away with it. So that does not make sense. You come in here and tell us that you promote international relationship. What are they helping you with? You came here, you were saying that they will help us with weapons. Weapons where? They will give you weapons for you to fight your own fellow Africans, for you to fight with your own fellow continent members, which does not stand in this house. Yes, people accept that.
What evidence do you have that if they come here, they will exploit our minds?
They will, yes. History clearly told us that all this, even the AU that UN that you are talking about, the United Nations organization, you realize that they impose policies that you know that they are not favorable for us, and then in a runway, you will realize that they are trying to exploit or to manipulate with our minds. Honorable Speaker, I would just like to remind this so-called opposition leader, the gay life and lesbian issue. Who are the people that brought it here? This is not a part of African context. We as Africans, we should stand and determine for ourselves. And then this organization that you are talking about, if at all we accept it, you realize that all these are Western ideologies, and then things that you know that they don't work for us as Gambian people will be imposing us, and then you will come to realize that we will not develop, but we will always be the same like this, and then there is no way we can move forward. So, Honorable Speaker, I think the Honorable Opposition Leader should withdraw from that statement. Honorable Speaker, I would just like to shift on to the other points that he brought forward to the House by saying that it promotes development. Where on earth? You will realize that even in China, go to Brazil, that is in America, go to South Africa, all those countries, you will realize that they are far ahead of Gambian people. So if we are trying to make a union with them or to come together with them, you will realize that Gambia will not move, but instead they will try to manipulate us in order to get the resources that we have as Gambian, which I don't agree to, and which should not be, and we should be allowed to determine for ourselves as Gambians. And that is the only way out for this country. Honorable Speaker, I would just like to shift on to strengthening the points that were brought forward my capable Prime Minister. The Prime Minister made mention that it undermine the sovereignty of the Gambian people, which is quite true. If you realize, as I earlier mentioned, that the Gambia is based on tradition and cultural issues, which you know that they are the things that holds us as Gambians, and they are the things that keep us moving. So if you are trying to bring to come with a union, then you know that they don't respect your culture, they don't respect your tradition. You will realize that there will become a time you will turn into their Western ideology, and will affect you directly or indirectly. And us as Gambians, we should not accept that. So, Honorable Speaker, I think by doing that, we will ensure that the sovereignty of the Gambian people is being undermined, because it is clearly stated that in the in the United Nations organization, that the most developing countries, they have superpower ideology rather. There are five world superpowers, and then if you realize that all these countries that are listed here, some of them are part of those superpowers. So if we collide with them, you will realize that even the favor that we are having in the United Nations organization will also start decreasing down. So, Honorable Speaker, I will move on to the other point, which is I say that it promotes bad influence on the Gambian people, which is quite true. That us as Gambians, we should be allowed at least to determine for ourselves. We should be allowed at least to know what to do in order for us to move ahead, but not to go and join an organization or a union which you know that it has no benefit and only undermine our sovereignty as a country. So I think that by joining this brass bricks, it will ensure that it promote bad influence on our country as a Gambian. The other points that I would like to give I would like to give to this house, that is that this bricks is ensure that with us as Gambians, even if we go out from this country to other countries, you will realize that those people will not in fact they will say that we are in the same union with you. So they will not in fact be, Gambians will not be in fact ready to work hard and then to achieve their goals in those particular countries, because they will be there feeling lazy, that saying that as far as I have a union with this one, I'll be protected in that country, while it doesn't work like that. So I think us as Gambians, if we happen to join BRICS, it will ensure that we as Gambians will feel so lazy when we are out. Because I will give you one example right now. If you go to the Commonwealth of Nations right now, the Gambian people whom you know that are in Great Britain, some of them will feel like they are just there. And then their right will be protected while they are offending other people's right. This is why thousands of them are being deported every time. And even China, you are saying, yeah, you are trying to make a union with 50% of the Gambians that went to China, 30% of them are being deported, and 10% of them are nowhere to be found. So that shows you that if you have a union with those people, you are nowhere to be found. So, Honorable Speaker, in summarizing my debate, I have refuted successfully on the points of the opposition leader, which was to promote national development and also it promote international relationship. I have strengthened the points of my honorable Prime Minister, which was it undermine the sovereignty of the Gambia and it promote bad influence. I have given my own context, and then, Honorable Speaker, here I conclude.
Speaker of the House, in my capacity as the Deputy Opposition Leader, allow me to lay down the structure of my debate. I will start by rebutting the points made by the so-called Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister. I will strengthen the beautiful points of my opposition leader. I will give my points, I will take POI if any, I will summarize, and in summary, I will conclude. Speaker of the House, starting with the Deputy Prime Minister, he came here and made mention of introduction. These people will come to our country and introduce Western ideology. I'm hereby reminding this so-called Prime Minister stated here that South Africa is not in any way and part of the Western countries. It's not in any way and part of the Western countries. So how can they come here and introduce Western ideology when they are not part of the Western countries? Speaker, he also made mention of explore our minds and materials. Speaker of the House, I'm hereby reminding this man sitting here that we need them to come into our country and take our materials and go and make them do something better and bring them back to our country for us to use it, because we as Gambians cannot make the best use of our materials. Instead, we need other people to come to our country, get them here, take them to their country, manufacture them, bring them back for easy use. And okay, come up with your PI.
Will they not train you how to use those materials?
Okay, plug back, let me educate you. You said, like, if at all they want you to develop, they will have tissue they will have tissue to use those materials. They promote Western education in the country. That is enough for you. If you cannot go to class and learn how those things are made, they will come and help you better. Speaker of the House, moving to my point, he also made mention of 50% of people in China are deported. Speaker of the House, he did not give us any reference. He did not give us an example. He did not give us reference. He just come here giving us bogus points that don't have sense, the points that don't hold water, and they will not stand in this honorable house. He also made mention that it ensures that Gambians will not work. If Gambians go to their country, they will not work hard to achieve their goals. This is the biggest shame he had brought to this honorable house. So, house, how can Gambians travel outside the country? And the main reason they travel out of the country is for them to go and achieve their goals. And you are saying here, if they go there, they will not make the best use of them achieving their goals. How? Wait, you didn't even give reference. You did not give anything. So you just come in here giving us mere points, like mere false information that we don't even know where you get them from. Speaking of that, moving to my strengthening part, my opposition leader came here and made mention of not of our country's concern, which is very true. Speaker of the House, it is not of our concern because we are not part of the countries who are coming together to build that relationship. So how is that our concern? Speaker of the House, our concern is if they are able to help us, they can come into our country, help us with the little things that they have to help us with, and leave our country. That is a simple thing that we have to concern, not your concern with other with their lifestyle or with other things that they have to do. That is none of your business. Speaker of the House, he also made mention of promotes development. Speaker of the House, which is very true. If those countries work hard, they will work hand in hand. They will promote. They will make sure that there is development in each and every country they are partnered with, because they will see themselves as one. They will see themselves as they will see themselves as united countries. So they will make sure that they develop the countries the countries they are in. So the House also made mention of stretch international relationship, which is very true. Speaker of the House, if those members of those countries come together, they will know each other. Those countries will have the ability to be known. It will state their relationship. Speaker of the House, it will build a good affection, a relationship between those countries, which is good for which is a good name for those countries. Speaker of the House. Moving to my own point, which is state international relationship, which is very true. Speaker of the House. Speaker of the House, moving to my first point, which is make countries known worldwide. Speaker of the House, which is very true. Let's take a good example of UK. UK is not the combination of only one country. For me to educate these people sitting here, UK is not the combination of only one country. UK is a combination of many countries, but yet still they come together. They give the name UK because they are united. And then do you think they will give that name as UK? No, they wouldn't. Each and every country will have given a single name to those countries. That will be very difficult for you sitting here to cram all those countries, all those countries' names. But they make it even easy for you. Just if you wake up in the morning, they ask you. If they ask you a question related to the best answer you could give is UK, because you know that they are partnered together, they are friends, they are supporting each other, they are making sure that everything is going perfectly okay with them. They are making sure that all development, all things they need are going okay with them. Speaker of the House, moving to my second point, which is reduce unemployment. Speaker of the House, which is very true. Let's take an example of Senegal. Which is just part of the Gambia. Just to take an example, Speaker of the House, Senegalese will come to the Gambia, like they will take shops, they will form shops in the Gambia. They will come, they will partner with Gambians, they will pay them, which is reducing the unemployment. So we all know the unemployment ratio in the Gambia is very high. So letting those people come in, they may come with a lot of opportunities. They may come with a whole lot of opportunities, like business. They will come with business, and they will employ people who will help them with their business. They can come with all kinds of things. They will come with a whole lot of things that Gambians can survive from. So those people, if they come here, they will employ, because you cannot send an individual to just go and do business for you merely. You have to give that person something in return. So in that case, that is going to reduce the unemployment ratio in the Gambia. Speaker of the House. Any POI? So if there is no POI, let me continue with my point. My next point, which is Speaker of the House, my next point, which is it makes it easy for students to know countries. Speaker of the House. Let's take a good example of SES in the junior school which we learn. Speaker of the House. Those students there, they're like, if you are giving the countries of the whole world to cram. Like for example, you are having test tomorrow and you are giving those entire countries to learn. Instead of that, you cannot just come and cram those countries one by one. Instead, you need time, which is effective. But if these countries are partnered together, they will give a unique name to them, and which can be used to call them as one country. Speaker of the House, in summary, I have report on the best response made by the so-called Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister, which were explore our minds and materials, manipulate us to get our resources, introduce Western ideology, and then it ensures that Gambians will not work hard to achieve their goals when they travel to other countries. Because I was strengthening in the case of my own opposition leader, which are not of our concern, not of our country's concern, promotes development and state international relationship. I have given my own points, which were make the countries known worldwide, reduce unemployment, and also makes it easy for students to know countries. Because of that, into my
I greet you all. In my capacity as the government member, before going further, allow me to lay down the structure of my debate. First, I will review the points of the opposition bench, strengthen the points of the government bench, give 2 points of argument, take a POI if necessary, summarize, and then conclude. Honorable Speaker, but before I begin, I would like to remind this House the motion, quote and unquote, this House reject BRICS. Now, Honorable Speaker, following the structure of my debate, to the refutals of the points made by the opposition bench, the opposition leader came here and mentioned that when we accept BRICS, it will strengthen international relationship and even bring travel opportunities. Honorable Speaker, there is a common saying that bad association spoils useful habits. Honorable Speaker, we should bear in mind that BRICS is an informal group. This is a house, and as a house, we believe in formality. We are formal, and there is no reason that should make us to accept or join BRICS because it is an informal group, and we firmly support and believe in formality. Honorable Speaker, as Gambians, we believe that when we train our youths here and make sure that they are engaged in something beneficial, that it is far better than having our youths go outside to educate them. So, Honorable Speaker, I see no reason why we should accept BRIC. Moving on to the second refutal, the deputy opposition leader made mention that when we accept or join BRIC, it will make countries known worldwide. Honorable Speaker, we should bear in mind that BRIC consists of only 5 countries. If BRICS actually wants countries to be made, all the countries to be known, wouldn't they have involved more countries? Honorable Speaker, I see no reason we should accept or join BRIC. Honorable Speaker, moving on to strengthening the points of the government bench, the Prime Minister came here and made mention that we should reject BRIC because it removes us from the superpower ideology. Honorable Speaker, as Gambians, we are working towards making sure that our country is developed. If possible, be among the superpower countries. So, Honorable Speaker, if BRIC is here to remove the superpower ideology in us, what is the reason of us joining or accepting BRIC? So, I see no reason why we should accept BRIC. Honorable Speaker, Deputy Prime Minister came here and made mention that gave the example of the Commonwealth. Honorable Speaker, Commonwealth, formal groups that are informal, the Commonwealth is a formal group, and they are not able to help us as expected. Honorable Speaker, if Commonwealth as a formal group is not able to help us as expected, how can BRICS, which is an informal group, help us to the maximum? I see no reason why we should join BRICS. Honorable Speaker, moving on to my points of argument. I believe that this House will reject BRIC because it is an informal group. So why accept them? Honorable Speaker, as I mentioned earlier, we believe in formality. We believe in formality, stand for formality, and accept formality. So, Honorable Speaker, anything that has to do with informality, we stand against it. So, as a House, there is no way we are going to accept BRIC. Therefore, we reject BRIC, Honorable Speaker. Moving on to my second point of argument, it is a group if it is a group that has the best interest of all at heart, it should include everyone. Honorable Speaker, there is a common saying that if you want to go far, you go together. But if you want to go fast, you go alone. Honorable Speaker, if BRIC has has the best interest of all the nations at heart, Honorable Speaker, instead of choosing just five member countries, it should have included 5 member countries. It's not even up to 3%. It's not even up to 3% of the countries in the world. So, if it has the best interest of the entire world at heart, it should have included at least 90% of the member countries of the world, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as I mentioned earlier, BRIC is an informal group. Now let's take for instance the Boko Haram in Nigeria. Honorable Speaker, on the 21st of May 2019, it was reported that 528 were killed in an open fire that was conducted by this Boko Haram. Now, Honorable Speaker, Boko Haram as an informal group caused an open fire, and in that open fire, 528 people were killed. Honorable Speaker, how sure are we that as a House, if we accept BRIC or even join BRIC, we will be part of these atrocities that will be committed? Honorable Speaker, we do not want to have anybody's blood on our hands, and we do not want to be part of any crimes that will take part in this war, because as Gambians, we believe in the values, we uphold our values, we uphold our morals, and we uphold our principles. So as a House, I see no reason why we should accept BRIC. Honorable Speaker, any POI? Honorable Speaker, there is no POI. This shows that the points that I have given are firm and solid, and I am able to convince this House that yes, as a House, we see no reason to join or accept BRIC. Honorable Speaker, as I promised, I have reviewed the points of the opposition bench. I have refused. POI accepted.
What is your source of information that BRIC itself is the one that is including all the other countries that has joined it, and it's not an association that people come forward to want the approach to join it?
Honorable Speaker, the Prime Minister came here and did everything that he was supposed to do. I believe that it is also part of the Prime Minister's responsibility to tell us if the BRIC, if you want to join, you're welcome to join, or they are the ones that are supposed to invite you to join. So I believe that question should be directed to your Prime Minister and not to me. Honorable Speaker, now as I have promised, I have refuted the points given by the opposition bench, who came here telling us that it will strengthen international relationship. I have also strengthened the points of the government bench, giving 2 points to convince this House that yes, we see no reason to accept BRIC. And Honorable Speaker, I believe that instead of confusing the House, just as the opposition bench did, I was able to convince this House. Honorable Speaker, in summary, I therefore conclude. Thank you. I greet you all. Following the structure of my debate, first I would like to rebut the baseless and unsubstantiated points that are given here by the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister, and then stretching the points of the opposition leader and then the Deputy Opposition Leader, and then give out my point, summarize and conclude if time permits me, and also accept a POI. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, BRICS is a noble vision, and rejecting it will leave the world disillusioned, including our country. Honorable Speaker, the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister stood here, or should I say the Prime Minister stood here and did not give us any perimeter. Where are we heading to? What is our direction? Is it about only the Gambia? What is the perimeter? You did not tell us about the perimeter. So, Honorable Speaker, I'm going to I'm going to give my argument to which align to my points. Honorable Speaker, the Prime Minister stood here and the Deputy Prime Minister. The only thing they mentioned here is sovereignty. It is going to undermine the sovereignty of the Gambia. Honorable Speaker, I did not accept his point, because sovereignty is something that international relation can limit the sovereignty of a particular nation if they sign treaties with those people. So you know that we're not talking about the Gambia here itself. We're talking about these 5 nations. So you not tell us the perimeter. Whether is it going to be in the Gambia? So that I should have aligned my argument to that. Honorable Speaker, Deputy Prime Minister, I believe that your point is very bogus and it does not stand in this House. And then the Deputy Prime Minister also made mention, nation there is no country that is okay. In a nation there is no country that is 100% sovereign. And also he made mention that it's going to be a negative influence in our country. I believe that if we have BRICS as an association, it is never going to be a negative influence in our country, because there are certain positive influences that we have in BRICS and other international organizations. For instance, India has rural employment schemes, slow rural urban migration. If we take example with these countries, for instance, we have Brazil, we have India, we have China. We all know that these countries are very powerful countries, are very powerful nations that people look up to. Brazil, let's look at one of the examples of Brazil. They are cash transfer, conditional cash transfer, which is a very important influence. If we have it here, it is going to be a positive influence in our country. Conditional cash transfer is whereby you go to each household and give them money, certain money that is required for their development. That is their economic, social, and political development that are needed to them. Honorable Speaker, I move on to the government member. The government member stood here and talk about it is not a formal group. It is not a formal group. It is an informal group. Yes, this is an informal group. This is a friendly group that is built by them, these 5 nations, to promote friendship, cooperation among them. We are not here to talk about the formality of BRICS. We are here to talk about the informality of BRICS, which is very important to their own association, because BRICS is not talking about Gambia. However, Speaker, I move on to another point of the government member. The government member also said that, sorry, the government member is like he did not even understand how the speaker rules. He made mention that the Prime Minister which is not even the prime minister, it is the opposition leader. It's like you do not understand your own role. And you see that the prime minister stood here and did not understand what he's saying. It's like you are telling us that your own prime minister did not understand the topic of the motion. Your own prime minister stood here and gave us false lies that we are not going to accept, and they did not start in this house. Honorable Speaker, I move on to my own point. Honorable Speaker, one of my points is going to be right to association. BRICS is an association, is an informal association. Honorable Speaker, in section 26 of the Human Rights Declaration, it mentions that right to association. Everybody have the right to association, no matter which country you belong to. So if we see that all these countries come together to form an informal association and rejecting it, what is it going to benefit us? Why would we reject an informal association when it's something that is their own right? They come together, they see it as something that is going to benefit them economically, politically, and socially. So that is why they form the association. So why are we undermining their right to association? Are we fighting them? Honorable Speaker, I move on to my next point. My next point is cultural integration. When BRICS come together, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. All these countries are countries that they have different cultures that are not very similar to each other. So if we see these countries coming together, they're going to promote cultural integration. They will learn each other's culture. If Brazil has certain type of culture and South Africa have this kind of culture and also Russia have this kind of culture, you realize that they are going to be cultural integration. We are going to promote friendship. We are going to promote friendship and cooperation. And also, Honorable Speaker, my next point is that it's going to boost world economy. If we have Brazil, we all know China. Let's take an example of China. China is one of the best world market in this generation. Accepted. Please raise your concern.
How can dress food promote development?
Who do you even have countries? Are you talking about cultural integration? Honorable Speaker, dress code is part of culture. If others adopt each other's culture, it's going to promote tolerance. Is that not promoting development? It's promoting development, of course. Honorable Speaker, I move on to my, as I was mentioning my point before he interrupted me, it is going to boost world economy. We see these countries, as I mentioned earlier, China is one of the best countries, one of the best world market that is importing all their goods all over the country, including our country, the Gambia. We are benefiting 1,000 times with China than any other country. We have Brazil, we have Russia, we have India, we also have South Africa. All these people are world powers that are very good in doing what they are. India is here. India is known as one of the best, having one of the best pharmacies. Which if these people come together, we are going to benefit there economically, which is going to bring sustainable development, which is going to promote the sustainable development goals of our country and any other country in the world. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, I'm going to summarize my debate. I stood here and debunk the basic and unsubstantiated points that were given here by the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister, where he talks about sovereignty, that it cannot be undermined. Well, we all know that sovereignty can be undermined. I also debunk the government member, where she did not even know the roles that the Prime Minister was doing. And also, I give out my points. Which is right to association, cultural integration, and boost world economy. Honorable Speaker, I believe that I have justified the argument that this House will not reject BRICS in this country or any other country. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, before going further, I would like to lay down the structure of my debate. First, I will rebut the points given by the opposition bench, then strengthen the points given by the government bench, give a point, summarize, take a POI, if time permits me, summarize, and then conclude. Honorable Speaker, moving forward to the reporters, first I will start with the opposition leader. The opposition leader came here and mentioned of strengthening international relations. I want to ask the opposition leader, how would this strengthen the international relations when we are still part of the formal association, and yet still there is no international relationship between countries? Let's take for example of Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine and Russia are neighbors, but yet still they are fighting. Who are we to say that when we join these BRICS in Russia, we are going to be free from the attack from Russia, when they are fighting their own neighbors? Moving forward, that he mentioned undermine the sovereignty of our country. As a country, we believe that we should be sovereign in whatever that we are doing. The Gambia, we believe that we can do it alone if we are part of the BRICS or we are not part of the BRICS. The Gambia, we should be, as a government or as a parliament, we need to be talking about how we can do it alone, and how we can join those people to help us do what we want to do or to help us develop our country. But instead, we should be here discussing on how to do it alone. Moving forward to the deputy opposition leader, she came here and made mention of made countries known worldwide. What does made countries known worldwide has to do with us? Does it even have to do with development? Does it even just to know a country? What does that benefit us as Gambians? Or what does it benefit any country around us? It does not have anything to do with this motion. Moving forward to our next point, reduce unemployment. Let me remind you, we are part of a lot of formal bricks, but yet still we are reaping in unemployment. How can we be part of accepted? Yes. We are part of the Commonwealth. Brick is an example, and it's a formal brick, and it is a formal. So how are we going to? We are part of not a formal organizations. So how are we going to believe that if we are part of these bricks, it will help us in development? So moving forward to it will reduce unemployment. Moving forward to her third point, which is help students to know other countries. How are they going to help students to know other countries? Are they going to carry students to countries to know them, or just hearing the name of a country? Because even if we are not part of these bricks, we are going to hear the name of countries, because there is media everywhere. So it will never help us know other countries, because there is no opportunity that they are going to take our people to their countries and do better with them. Let's take, for example, the contract that the Gambia is having with China. Are they taking people to China? They are not taking people to China. Instead, the Chinese are coming to the Gambia, fish in our rivers, take everything we have to China, and it will never come back to the Gambia. Is that even making sense? Moving forward to the opposition member, she made mention right to association. What are the people? What is the right of right? Is there any right of association? There is no right of association when you go to all the treaties of human rights. There is no right to association. So I want her to tell us what kind of right of association is she even talking about. Moving forward to my strengthening. The Prime Minister came here and gave us superior over the country. Let's take for example, the United Kingdom. We are part at the United States. We are part of the same organization, but yet still they are showing us superiority. What are we going to like? What will happen if we are part of BRICS with Russia and China? When we all know that this Brazil, Chinese, and Russians are very selfish, and to remind the opposition deputy opposition member that the South Africans, they have a culture, or they have a lifestyle of Europeans, because they are a mixture of blacks and Europeans, and the Europeans are the ones that dominate them. So South Africans even they consider themselves as European. So to remind you that also. Moving forward to the Prime Minister, he made mention of undermine the sovereignty of our country. This is very true. When it comes to sovereignty, we have to be independent as a country. But when we are looking forward to depending on BRICS or independent on organizations, that means that we are still not sovereign, and we cannot do it. We feel that we cannot do it alone. But when we stand alone as a country, or we go into everything that has to do with formality, it means that we can do it. Moving forward to the opposition, moving forward to the Deputy Prime Minister, he made mention of made Gambians out to other countries. They are not treated the same, even if they are in other the same bricks. Let's take for example, like when you travel to Europe, you are not treated the same. You are seen as a foreigner. Even if you go to China, you are seen as a foreigner, and you are not treated. You are not given the same opportunity, even though if you are in the same brick or you are in the same organization. So this has nothing to do with the motion. Moving forward to the beautiful form that the government member brought, she said it is an informal group. Why accept them? Let's take whatever that has to do with informality. Hence, there is informality, means there is a negative part of it. Let us, for example, the customers, the group that is in Casamance that is fighting government, that are the rebels. It is an informal group. Why not we go and join them? Because it's a brick. Why don't we go and join? Because people come together and form it. So like it's an example. It is an informal thing. So if we have to join those people, it means that we are undermining our own. Moving forward to the government member, she made mention of whatever was the purpose forming BRICS is belief collective hands can achieve a purpose. Well, our aim as to join BRICS is to develop the country. And if we Gambians come together, we can develop the country. So why are we wasting our time joining the BRICS? Instead, we have to come together. We have our lands, we have agriculture, we have our river. Let's work on those things and focus on those things. Moving forward to my point, independent in decision making. When you join BRICS, whenever you are making a decision, you have to consider the treaties that you sign with those people. So it is going to drain, or it is going to delay us when it comes to decision making, and we cannot make decision based on what we want or what is going to favor us as a country. But instead, we are going to take decision based on if it is going to consider the BRICS that we are part of, and if it is also going to consider our countries. But if it is going to consider favor only our country, we are not going to go ahead, because the BRICS that we are part of, it's not going to favor them. So moving to my summary, I have strengthened the points given by the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, and the government member. I also rebut the points given by the opposition leader, Deputy Opposition Leader, and give a point which is independent in decision making. Thank you.
The Speaker of the House, I greet you all. First, following the structure of my debate, I will first rebuke the baseless points given by the government bench. I would strengthen the points given by the opposition bench. Then, in summary, I shall conclude. Firstly, the Prime Minister came here and stood and said nothing that made sense in this house, because instead of explaining what BRICS was, this is a term that was used to define a specific association. The term BRICS is used as a wording in order to reflect the different countries that are part of BRICS. First, the B stands for Brazil, R stands for Russia, I stands for India, and C stands for China, and S stands for South Africa. So I think that you made that mistake when you made mention of defining BRICS from the Oxford Dictionary, because that was a total lie, and you should take back to wherever you brought that from. And you also made mention of a very, very, very insignificant and baseless point. You also said that it undermines sovereignty. How? What is the Gambia? Imagine, we are not talking about Gambia joining BRICS. We are talking about Gambia accepting BRICS in this country, so as to allow them to bring their support. And you couldn't even justify that point. You only kept on repeating the statement, undermine sovereignty, which does not stand in this house, so we kick it out. Secondly, the Deputy Prime Minister also came here and was doing repetition. He constantly kept on mentioning undermine sovereignty, which clearly states that the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister were running out of words to use, and they did not know the right terms to use in this honorable house. So I believe that you guys should sit and allow us to do your job. Thirdly, the government member also came and she did not even make a point that I can reason with, because if she said if it has the interest of everyone, it should include everyone. Okay, so you are trying to tell me that World Health Organization, all the countries all over the world are part of it. You are trying to tell me that United Nations, all the countries all over the world are part of it. You are also trying to tell me that UNICEF, all the countries that are all over the world are part of it. An organization is made for people that have interest, common goals, to come together and work towards developments in their country. So if you are thinking about something, you should specifically know what you are saying. So that does not stand in this house. You also kept on talking, we are not joining BRICS. Who asked you to join BRICS? That was not the concern here. This house rejects BRICS. Nobody is talking about who is joining and who is not joining. So I think we should take that back to where it came from. The government whip also came and made mention of BRICS is not formal. Okay, so you are trying to tell us that if something is not formalized and put in a document, it's not. Okay, so now why is it that your name is not formalized and put in a written document? So your name does not stand. That is what you are trying to tell me. So that does not even hold water. So take it back to wherever it came from. Not independent in decision making. So you are trying to tell me that the Gambia as a country, if it is taking decision, every decision that we are making, we go to World Health Organization, go to the Commonwealth of Nations, and ask them whether we should take the decision or not. That does not stand, because BRIC is equally an organization like all other organizations. So if you are saying something, you should make sure that it is in line with whatever you are, whatever is in line with the topic. So I think that does not even hold sense. Okay, I will go to strengthening the points of the opposition leader. Yes, the opposition leader came here and stood and said strengthens international relations, which is really true. How do you expect our international relations to boost up if we don't come together and accept people's organizations? Which means that we are rejecting their organization, and that is against the Declaration of Human Rights. Because under Section 26 of the International Declaration of Human Rights, it talks about rights association. So you should not decline people and deprive them from their rights to associate with each other. So that was a very, very concrete point, and I go 100% with it. The deputy opposition leader came here and said it reduced the rate of unemployment. Of course, because just imagine, China came to the Gambia just on the 26th of April 2025, China came to the Gambia and bring an AI project that was brought forward to bring 40 kids from the Gambia and teach them AI, bring them back to the country so that they can work and teach people artificial intelligence in order to boost up the technology in this country. And you are trying to tell me that these countries are not putting efforts in order to help the country move forward. So that does not make sense. So which means that what she said is totally in line with whatever we are talking about in this house. So your points are totally down. Okay, so the opposition member came here and said the points that I am 100% fully impressed with, because she not only made mention of cultural integration as something to boost up people's culture, but she also talked about it as tolerance, as a way of showing tolerance. How do you expect people to tolerate each other if they cannot accept people's culture, way of dressing, way of talking, and way of appreciating each other's lifestyle? How do you expect that to work? We are in a world whereby acceptance is what takes the country to the next level. So we should try and accept each other, bring relationship with people that we are not in different culture, and we stand together in order to boost peace and solidarity in each other's lives. So that is it. She also made mention of right to association. Of course, we all know that everybody has the right to associate with whoever you want to associate with. It is not by force for anybody to associate, but if a person wants to do an association, whether it's informal or formal, we have no right whatsoever to reject them. That is totally undone. We should not accept everybody's rights, and in that we allow them to do their rights to the maximum expectation. So you have no right to reject somebody's right to association. She also made mention of boost world economy. Let's just look at China. China is taking a greater part in the world market. Look, shame that we are all ordering our clothes from is from China. They are the ones that are making those products, and they are making many other things, like even these foodstuffs that we are eating, the biscuits and everything, they are being made in China. So you expect that you are trying to tell me that these people are not trying their best to develop the country. And if we allow this particular BRICS to continue on with their association, this will not only help us to economically develop our country, but it will also help us in the line of this thing, oil. In Gambia, we know that we don't have proper big oil magazines or companies that we can use. And we know that Brazil, they have part of the highest oil companies in the world. So you think that if we allow these BRICS to come and be accepted in the Gambia, what do you think? We will at least have interest from them, and that will just help us. So, in summary, I conclude. I first stood here, I debunked the points that was given by the Prime Minister when he said promote influence and attack. I also debunked the point of the Deputy Prime Minister when she constantly repeated undermine sovereignty. I debunked the point of the opposition government member when she said if it has the interest of all, it should include everyone. I also debunked the point of the government whip when she said not independent in decision making. I strengthened the point of the opposition leader when he said strengthens international relationship. The point of the deputy opposition leader makes countries known wide and reduce unemployment. I also strengthen the point of the opposition member, right to association, cultural integration, and boost world market. In summary, I conclude. And I thank you. With all this, I think that my points stand in this house. Thank you.
Go on to the declaration of the results. I also need to make a few observations. Now, one thing that is very, very interesting, that is very, very important whenever you're debating is, even if you don't know the exact details of what the debate is about, you should have an idea. When we mention BRICS, and it was said that it's an informal grouping of states, and we mentioned the states that is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. You have a gist that we are talking about an international organization. And in very simple terms, the purpose for most international organizations is to promote regional integration, is to promote friendship among states, and to ease dealing with one another as states that are in the world stage. So whenever you're debating, these are some of the things that you could look at. Whatever the United Nations, although a broader and bigger than BRICS can provide us, most of the time BRICS can do it. And BRICS also came not just as an institution that is established to provide financial sustainability or to ease the financial difficulty of countries that are member states and to the countries that it's open to, but to also make sure that they stop other organizations, big organizations,
and to also sort of curb American dominance in the world stage, right? And most of you have avoided discussing that. When you are to talk about BRICS or any other international organization that is given to you for future purpose, one of the most important, even if it is not part of the objectives of that international organizations, know that it promotes regional integration. Whenever two countries are part of a similar organization, it will promote regional integration, it will promote cultural exchange, and it will promote mutual benefit for all the countries that are within that organization. But that has mostly been avoided. And personally, I would think the debate topic was hard, obviously, but it was well debated. And my colleagues have said most of the things, so I would not go on to add to that. So I'll just go ahead and announce the results of the debate. Second position goes to opening opposition, Armitage Senior Secondary School. Fourth position goes to Tahir Senior Secondary School. Fourth. I said fourth position. And first position goes to Nusrat Senior Secondary. And finally, third position goes to St. Peter's Senior Secondary. Thank you very, very much. I'm sorry, we are also announcing the winner of the best speaker, and it goes to no other than Miss Adama Choi. Is it Adama Choi or Adam Choi? Thank you very much.